I watched all of the VHS found footage horror films, and here are my top 3 and worst films from that franchise. Coming in at number 3, we have the original VHS. The reason for this is because it's the original, but at the same time, it really launches everything related to VHS from there. All the things you see in the other VHS films in this franchise stem from this. And some might sit here and say, oh, well, you're just going off of nostalgia, so on and so forth. When in reality, if you actually look at it, it's not that terrible, especially compared to half of these that are in the franchise. It's definitely not without its flaws, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not terrible. Coming in at number 2, we have the 2024 VHS Beyond. Now, I will say the separate tapes in this film are better than the main timeline tapes, only because it involves aliens, and I am a huge Alien fan as a whole. The worst one out of all of them having to be the final one where she gets put into hyperspace. That was brutal, and it actually shows you what it's like if you were to be put into hyperspace. And the other stories, including the dogs, the plane with the aliens, and even the main story itself, trying to show us that it's kind of like a documentary, seeing if aliens are real or not. Coming in at number 1, the most recent installment, that being VHS Halloween. Now this one will do things to you. It'll tickle your pickle in multiple different ways. Aside from the main story, I don't think there is a single bad segmented storyline in this film. As a matter of fact, all of them hit home in different ways. I'm gonna hold the phone for this one. The worst one being Kid Prank. That one genuinely took me by surprise. That made me feel a very, very horrible way. And also getting new horror icons, also capitalizing on the feeling of suspense in that first segment. All the different films making you feel a certain way, opposed to all these other films in the franchise that are just bloody, gory, and everything else in between, just making you feel uneasy just in that sense. But with this one, you feel uneasy in multiple different ways. And that's how it should always be. And to save the best, or in this case, the worst for last, it's VHS Viral. Easily one of the weakest ones out of all the ones here. None of the stories really connected with me. I didn't feel a certain way. I didn't feel like, oh damn, that's terrible. If anything, it was just a snooze fest. It wasn't even worth it. It's like they tried to push an agenda for something that wasn't working from the very beginning. Not only that, it had fewer segments and it had a smaller scope of what they were trying to achieve. The execution in some of these segments was uneven. It was even criticized for not even being that good. It had a few spots here and there, but that's not enough to actually justify it being any good. But I want to know from you, if you've watched the VHS films, which ones are your top 3 and which one is your worst one?